The Lord Almighty shall strike you! Answer, are you a witch? Yes!
Oh, maybe I'm 3 centuries late with this video. Maybe. But cable has already gotten under my skin, even despite the fact that I've never even had one. Still, it managed to drive me nuts. 1692, Salem, Massachusetts. Little girls suddenly begin exhibiting unprecedentedly strange behavior. Out of the blue, contorting in pain, barking like dogs, and right away falling dumb. Babbling nonsensically, complaining of fevers and describing seeing some terrifying visions. This, horrifyingly so, soon spread to other children in the area. In their delirium, they described sights so ghastly, they seemed ripped straight from hell. The girls pointed out they might have had a sense who had brought this terror upon them all. The first woman caught, and far from the last, confessed to being a witch. In that relentless storm of the ensuing witch hunt, hundreds were left destitute, countless wrenched from this world in a single instant. After binge watching TV, you find yourself coming away with your brain whispering,
It's entirely possible.
hard to believe, 17th century, yet all the court records, reports, and documents have survived. Young women truly collapse into fits, actually confessing witches are subjected to torture before lots of eyewitnesses, juries, judges.
Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Namkag, settled in 1626, renamed Salem after Jerusalem, meaning City of Peace, by English Protestants, namely the Puritans. I'm personally on a bit different team.
Jehovah's Witness?
No, sir. Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Well, we do have a free copy of the Watchtower for you, if you like.
A war between colonizers and indigenous people. A parallel one between France and England over unbelievably profitable territories of North America. A war for the American secession. Lots of refugees and traumatized populations. Violence between the Catholic and the Protestant churches. Religious and political persecutions. King James II, ruler who hates Puritans with the most violent passion, when he suddenly dethroned. King William III and Queen Mary II are crowding his place.
You okay, Patrick?
Finland!
But in the City of Peace, it's different. On top of that extreme weather, a smallpox epidemic, failing crops, children start falling victim to some unknown. Well, there's good news too. That's it.
We are a people chosen specially by God. When you fail him, you open the door to Satan.
Especially in those days, Massachusetts stood as an unyieldingly devout stronghold. Well, where there's God, there's the devil. And where there's the devil, there is K-pop. Freudian slip, witchcraft.
Who is it?
Witches.
What do you want?
We're here to eat your kids.
Okay, come on in. And look at this!
Oh, please.
Mark this well, it's crucial. 2 little girls, Elizabeth Paris, age 9, and Abigail Williams, age 11. The third, Anne Putnam, and so on. No longer reacting to prayer, hurled the Bible aside, being gripped by agony. So that local doctor William Griggs was immediately called for. Nothing to worry about. These are textbook signs of demonic possession cast by someone. I know what I'm talking about. Egad, I'm a doctor. We got folk medicine for crying out loud. We're not living in the 15th century, after all. 1692, such are the times.
From the devil himself.
Stop. What precisely is the proposed method of treatment? That means this requires a mustache with a fat-ass swamp toad, a tad of your own, a pinch of syrup, a tablespoon. Boil at freezing temperatures will be ready 5 minutes ago. I forgot one needs to slather themselves in koala dang. I mistakenly captured the echo of the verb 3 villages away instead. We're not treating hiccups. here at the end of the day. Now, that's a real diagnosis. Nowadays, the entire population is wanting their asses too big, or not big enough. I'm profoundly grateful to the universe, if it's listening, that I wasn't born then with my sleuthing. Now, where did I leave off? Special witch hunt trials are launched by the authorities.
What afflicts you?
A witch! A witch! A witch! A witch!
Where be this witch, child? What see you, child?
There was a witch! She was a witch!
The girls, able to see otherworldly sorceries directly pointed at persons they knew, have wielded dark magic. The first batch of witches who are pointed fingers at isn't very pleasant for the town. Impoverished elderly Sarah Osborne, who never attends church. Teichuba, an indigenous slave, who on March 1st admitted to serving Satan, with a confession that there were some others among them. Plus the homeless beggar Sarah Good. The four-bounding three. One heck of a movie. Bollywood movie.
How can I call it? You know I can't talk to women.
Just give it to me. What are you doing? Don't worry, you'll thank me. Hello, Lalita, Rajkuta. Yes, it is good to talk to you too.
At this point, something inside them appears to have gone full-on into it.
Let us throw open the floor to wild accusations. Woohoo! I accuse Goody Flanders.
I accuse Goody Badwife.
We killed her on Sunday.
Let's come to our senses, everyone. This witch hunt is turning into a circus.
She's the witch.
Yeah!
She's the witch.
I was just about to accuse her.
A granny too weak to even sit up is accused. Next thing you know, the devil's new minion turns out to be a 4-year-old girl, Dorothy. Did you rape a dozen men, hijack a unicycle, and terrorize Canada? If so, we'll give you candy. What kind of candy? Caramel. And suddenly, it hit everyone. The meats of this 4-year-old witch are too tiny for shackles, so they need to be adapted to fit little Dorothy. One out there could have suggested that perhaps Satan's aim had been not to recruit, but to trick the court into killing the innocent, then beg the Lord for mercy. If inadvertently, for a heartbeat, by the slightest slip, the tiniest glimmer of doubt ever danced across your lips.
If they're really witches, why don't they use their powers to escape?
That sounds like witch talk to me, Lisa.
Never mind.
Deliverance Hobbs becomes the next one.
Do you confess to the crime of witchcraft?
No, yes.
So do a number of witches, but far from all. Mary Nurse, and now her sister Rebecca Nurse, who during her 71 years acquired a reputation of exemplary piety that was virtually unchallenged in the Christian community. Truly saint-like, simplicity of heart, a mother of a large family who became ill and partially deaf. A hesitant silence took hold. Then it was unheard of. A portion of the locals comes forward and speaks out, despite the dangers of doing so. 39 of the most prominent members even signed a petition asserting her innocence.
Okay, here's how the process works. You sit on the broom and we shove you off the cliff.
What?
Well, hear me out. If you're innocent, you will fall to an honorable Christian death. If, however, you are the bride of Satan, you will surely fly your broom to safety. At that point, you will report back here for torture and beheading.
Stop! Doesn't the Bible say, "Judge not, lest ye be judged"?
The Bible says a lot of things. Shove her!
Only the coolest spells are placed on the girls right in a courtroom.
And Putnam, go and touch her hand. And if this touch stops the child's affliction, then you, Goody Nurse, must be considered a witch.
Rebecca's fate was set in stone on July 19th. Many mistake what exactly occurred. The people didn't have their necks snapped by a long draw and die instantly, as was practiced later from a hanging practice. form, the hangings were by being dangled on a rope, causing slow, excruciating asphyxiation. A curious piece of clothing, a limp, a crooked finger. Who doth plague thee with such unbearable torment? I say you? Are you playing some fool jest upon me? What sayest thou in thee defense? Not a single syllable. I've naught to say. A 17th century court is basically just like an Among Us vote.
Come on, give us some candy. Don't pretend you're not home.
Dad, that's our house.
She's a witch! Get her!
Salem was home to a man named John Proctor, one of the rare folks there who had common sense. His servant Mary Warren, having gotten an eyeful of all his deviltry in the town, soon started riding and goading in every possible way too. Only John, as I've said, wasn't a dumb degenerate. He threatened her to cut acting the fool or he'd lash her back to reality. The witching vanished as if by whipping. When nobody saw, she tiptoed off on the slide to testify her accusations to the court of this wretched town. What a vile brat. And so this John, who never believed a word of it, slowly and painfully suffocated, being suspended. Thanks to her, 9 others were dragged down with him. Massachusetts 1692 justice is just as dumb as a daytime courtroom TV show.
On your best day, you're not as smart as I am on my worst day when I'm sleeping. I'm much smarter than you are.
It's just that, as the court proclaims, witches, warlocks, and other servants of the devil must be condemned to perdition. Even a Christian preacher, such as George Burroughs. All the more so since he got a heated money dispute with the Putnams. Ironically, the 17th century
Salem, Massachusetts
is said to be as patriarchal as it gets, yet in retrospect, we observe the exact opposite. Grown-ass men dancing to the tune of some little girls. And Putnam accused even a priest. During the carrying out of his sentence, something happened that been said simply couldn't have. Burroughs stunned the crowd by loudly reciting the Lord's Prayer without hesitation or error. A servant of Lucifer can't! We ourselves declared it 4 minutes ago, mother. Now, recite the Bible. Yes, even a preacher was strung up. All it took was little and pointing him out. Possession, eye-body rolling contortions, spouting gibberish rants. These aren't similar of the Huntington's disease or lethargic encephalitis. They're exactly those symptoms. In short, the full package. At the start, there's no way in the entire village it could have been play acting. Some kiddos could have kicked off the charade, others followed suit, just clueless what it could lead to. In the end, still, everyone's executed. Game over. No other game existed there anyway. Their upbringing was, let's say, not exactly a joyride.
Maybe a story will cheer you up. It's called The Ugly Barnacle. Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
Massachusetts and Connecticut, established by Puritans, a highly strict people. Children's toys were prohibited because useless, forbade any displays of affection.
Hello? I love you.
Strip children of toys, they will still make their own fun. I'm bewitching you. Nah, I'm bewitching you. I'll sue and you're gallows bound. I already did 2 hours ago. Massachusetts' finest comedians. How the hell, pun intended, did the children learn about the satanic fits if the most engaging and tender figure around was a stone statue?
You see, Salem in 1692 was really two Salems. Salem Village, a poorer, rural farming area run by the powerful Putnam family, and Salem Town, a wealthier, more developed port area under the influence of the Porters.
The Putnams and their allies stood to gain the most land and seats in government from separation, while the Porters with other affluent families resisted successfully thanks to their greater wealth. Normally, splitting is rare,
unless it's Los Angeles. Of course.
Documented 1688 on the eve of the witch hunt. John Putnam rolls out the welcome mat for Reverend Samuel Parris to take the pulpit in a village church, who right away rises to be Salem Village's first ordained minister. In parallel, the proud owner of a reputation for harsh rule and voracious tendencies. Formerly a half-successful planter and merchant in Barbados, where he acquired an enslaved indigenous woman named Tituba. She must have seen lethargic encephalitis, Huntington's, ergotism, etc.
Paris left this colorful character in a very bleak and strict environment to play games of telling fortunes in their reflection of water in dark settings.
His daughter Betty and niece Abigail, the first two girls to start having satanic fits,
all lived in the same house. Historians believe Paris beat Tituba until she confessed on March 1st, 1692.
Why have you afflicted the children? You are a force of Satan in my own home. You shall confess and purify us of his evil.
I'm not a witch, I'm a good girl.
You lie! I speak for God.
The third girl to be hexed with immense pain was Anne Putnam, witch's broomstick up my... It is a conspiracy! And a brilliant one. Salem Village swiftly eliminated the opposing Porter supporters
and rechristened itself Danvers, as it's still called to this day.
Ooh, what a bacchanalia has broken out in Salem! Take it out with those bastards. Well, Massachusetts Governor William Phips, the very man himself who established this court, only to shut the whole thing down when, upon returning from England, learned his own wife had just been fingered.
I created this monster, and I've got to stop him. Neo-Flying! See what I mean, Patrick?
Where's the leak, ma'am?
Dozens hanged in public, corpses piled up in overcrowded prisons under brutal conditions. Dirt floors, no air circulation, no sanitation, leaving the entire colony traumatized. Consider the magnitude, even 2 dogs were burned alive for witchcraft.
But that's impossible, this is Massachusetts.
The government offered its apology in 1957 and a memorial in 1992. 3 centuries hadn't passed.
The first witch, Tituba, who blew the lid of the satanic conspiracy, retracted her confession, though was still nonetheless locked up.
Anne Putnam in 1706 admitted herself.
It's, well, you know, the devil must have led me astray. A study conducted by Peter Grunt, a PhD at Yale, revealed that all the girls' statements were authored by someone named Thomas Putnam. Conveniently, he also served as the court secretary, conveniently aware that upon conviction, a portion of the evil's property could be seized.
A man named Giles Corey wasn't about to hand over his farm.
Hell-bent on bequeathing it to his kin.
Abigail Williams and Ann Putnam pointed at him too, so the magistrates left him alongside his wife Martha,
who'd ultimately be condemned as well, to languish for 5 months in confinement, awaiting his warlock trial. Only as a tough nut with an iron grip, he wouldn't budge an inch, so it was decided that the plea would be squeezed out of him. Giles Corey was stripped bare before the town.
A board laid upon his chest, pressed with a growing blanket of rocks. Being a true man, he instead pleaded to have more weights added, so his death might arrive sooner.
So, what's then the scariest thing in Salem?
Coal miners. Ew.
Sulfur miners.
Unaccompanied minors.
The real scare of Salem isn't witches, it's people settling old scores to get gains. The takeaway?
Use kids to commit your crimes.
In this witchy tale, there are things that I never quite got. Why are there in the US 36 Salems, 23 Parises, 47 Moscows, and even a whole Bolivia?
Russia, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Heads up, nigga.
I want to believe that we Homo sapiens are evolving into the apex, more and more civilized, but believing is hard. The knowledge that this occurred over 3 centuries ago provides scant consolation. Accusations of witchcraft resulting in banishment, attack, murder continue today in many regions. Brazil, West Africa, India.
This is the outro where I'd recap the story, but this time I have a guest. He's a bit strange and for some reason angry.
Where the hell did you retarded f***ers get the idea that I had a hand in this shit? If that had been my doing. And you know what that adds up to? Witches.
It's not a sinner. It was him, Butwood. Puritans all suck. The brave Chicago to show up. 3 seconds in, they snatch your shit. You're Spanish surrender. I am the law. I am the system. The old office. I guess I think about election day. Governors like the Epstein way. Free Padini. He's divine. Drake says it's God's design.
Let's get your eyes